From the bayous in Louisiana to the timber country up north, you'll find them out on the trap line, chasing furs to put up on the board, mixing up another batch of that magical stuff, chilling around the fire after the show. Hey, it's Sarah and Jeff, and maybe a guest on the Trapping Radio 2.0.
Hello and welcome to Trapping Radio 2.0. My name is Jeff Dunlap. I'm your host tonight. We are going to be covering all over the map. That's usually how I do it, but we're mostly going to be covering like bedding traps is what we're going to start off on. But let me first cover our sponsors. Right now we have two sponsors. We have F&T, they're out of Alpena, Michigan. They have basically everything you could need or want for trapping or dog hunting. They do predator calling. They have an awesome store that if you get into northeast lower peninsula, Michigan, in Alpena, you can stop and check out. They got a whole fur room. It's just an awesome place to visit. I live 20 miles from there, and when I go in there to see them or take orders and stuff, I'll stop in there and check out. It's just, I like being around the trapping stuff, and it's a cool spot to go. So basically anything you need for trapping, give F&T a call. They're at 989-354-8727. You can look them up also under fntpost.com. Our other sponsor, Alan Sayer. I always say Alan Sayers. Sarah tells me it's not Sayers, it's Sayer. So, oh well. But Alan Sayer with Funky Trap Tags and Trapping Supplies. He's out of, I would say Panora, but it's Guthrie, Iowa. And, you can look up Alan, like I say, under Funky Trapping Supplies, and it'll pop right up, Google it. And Alan's got tons of stuff. He's a really good guy, and that's what I like to deal with. I like to deal with a good person. Sometimes you got to deal with an asshole. But if I don't have to, I'm going to go with the good guy and the people I know are good. Alan, I'll tell you, this is the type of guy that Alan is. He's the one person that if I was broke down anywhere, I could call. And let's say I hadn't talked to Alan for a year. Alan is the one guy that I could call, and I know that if I said I'm broke down or I need something, will you come? He'd just say where you're at, and I know he would be on his way. It wouldn't matter if he's farming or what he's doing, he would be on his way. That's the type of guy I want to deal with. And he's just, he's a good man. And that's why I want to deal with is a good man. And so, give Alan a shot. If you're interested in being a sponsor and you have a good company and you want to be a sponsor on here, we'd take on a couple more sponsors. If you're a shithead that don't get your orders sent out or don't take care of your customers, or basically an asshole, I don't want I don't want your money. I won't go on here and embarrass you. I just won't have you as a sponsor. So, but if you're a good company, you take care of your customers, and a good person, then I'll be glad to have you, entertain having you on as a sponsor. So, we're just not taking anybody as a sponsor. The market's down. We're not bending on the morals here. So if you want to be a sponsor and you're a good person, get a hold of us. So tonight, what we are going to do is talk about bedding traps. Well, that's where we'll start. You all know I jump around. So the thing is, we had been taking a young guy out trapping with us, and he's caught fur, does a really good job. But he has the basics down. But he'll watch something on YouTube and then try it, and and then doesn't see the when something doesn't work. And he's a big starting out trapper, caught some fur and stuff, but still learning. We're all learning, but he's in the basic first steps of learning. What he did was, and I watched him set this, is he goes and takes a piece of wax paper. I use wax paper. We get the hamburger patty things from Gordon Foods. I don't know in your area, and they're like $5 for where you lose half of them because there's so many of them. You don't need that many, so it's a pretty good deal. We wad them up, put them on our trap, right over the pan. Put the dirt over it. Works good. Well, before I learned about those, I would go and have like a whole roll of wax paper. Well, that's what he has, is this whole roll of wax paper. Anyways, what he does is he takes it out, crinkles it up, cuts it off, crinkles it up, spreads it back out over the trap. Well, these hamburger patties are going in, so you got your trap set. Imagine your trap is set. You got it in the bed. The thing is them hamburger patties or your trap pan cover, fiberglass, or any of that, it's going inside the jaws, right? So if you're just starting out, you're imagining your trap setting there. You got this piece of wax paper, and it's all inside the jaws, right? So what he was doing is putting it over the jaws and tucking it on the outside. So what was happening is, and then he packs the dirt around and then puts the dirt over the top. Well, what would happen is, and I've done this myself, not with the dirt, but I'll tell you in a little bit how I had done it and had to adjust what I was doing up in Alaska. So you got all this dirt on there. What happens is when something steps on the pan and triggers that, the pan goes down, the jaws come up. Where does the dirt go? The dirt goes down into where the jaws and down into the pan, and it won't. So then you're trying to force the foot down in there and a handful of dirt down in there, and and it's going to make that trap fire slower. It's going to give them possibly a chance to pull their foot out. So, if you're just starting out trapping, or like this guy where you've been trapping a little bit, but you're trying something different, you don't want to put any of your coverings on the outside of the jaws. No, all right. Now I said that. Now stop. If you're in Alaska, Canada, something like that, like trapping lynx, stuff like that, up there in the snow, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the lower 48 guys and girls, in dirt. Because up to Alaska, what they do a lot of times is they'll take that wax paper, crinkle it up, and then they wrap their whole trap like grandma's wrapping up a apple pie, taking the wax paper and going to take it to church. Well, they wrap that trap like that and then bed it in the snow and then just put a light covering over the top, because, that's just how they do it up there. But the thing is, I've went and put, like up to Alaska, I would go and I put too much snow over the top, and then I would have the same problem that this young trapper had, is it would go and push the foot down, the snow would drop into the inside of the trap, and it wouldn't have, especially for a lynx's foot, wouldn't have a lot of room for that lynx's foot to get down into there. So I had the same problem. I did the same thing, but that's how I was taught to trap in Alaska. I didn't have any waxed dirt up there. Would I prefer to have waxed dirt? Absolutely, I would have. And if I go up there trapping again, I will have some waxed dirt. It'll probably cost me like a lot of money to get it up there, but I will have some, and I'll have some saber-tooth drags too. And them will probably be expensive too to get up there. Everything's expensive to get up there. And but the thing is going back to the lower 48. If you're just starting out trapping, you got to watch what you're doing and try and figure this stuff out. Because the thing is, if you come there and your trap sprung, you just figure, well, I had a miss. But the thing is you got to try and figure out, why am I having these misses? Sometimes you'll never put it together. You won't know. I mean, I have misses, and I can't figure out, what exactly happened. But if you pick up your trap, look at your trap, and you start seeing that, or you see it when you don't catch anything, and you go to spring it, and then you catch it, that hey, this is where the problem is. So you got to pay attention to what you're doing, and what's happening with your traps on your line. The other thing is like when you're bedding the trap. A lot of people, what they do is you'll see it in the videos on like YouTube. You see it all the time, and even videos if you buy them like from F&T or Funkies or whatever you buy. And I'm sure if you buy one of my videos, you're going to see the same damn thing in there. When I first started, is somebody cuts a hole, and then it's pack. The thing is, you don't have to do that. So if you're just starting out and you're seeing that, you don't have to do that. What you have to do is cut your bed to fit your trap. And then you don't have to pack. If you have a trap that's let's say 4 inches around, and you cut one out that's a hole that's 4 inches around, and then you just take your hammer and knock where the levers are, all right? It fits right down in there perfect, just like if you were using a cookie cutter. And that's why do I think that everybody needs to use a cookie cutter? No, absolutely not. I think if you're starting out trapping, a cookie cutter is a good thing to use, because it gives you a reference of how tight you're trying to make that trap fit. And so on that point, I think the cookie cutters. Do I think if you're trapping for 12 years that, sure, you can use one? I mean, who cares? If you're out there by yourself, who's going to make fun of you for having a cookie cutter? Nobody. You can do what you want to do. It's your money. It's your time. But, if you're out there for 12 years and can't cut them, there's a problem. So my thing is, I had never used a cookie cutter. So what I did was I went and I go to F&T, I buy this cookie cutter. And this is January. And so I go there to get this cookie cutter, and I was like, people are asking me about them. I should try one, because I'll go buy stuff and try it so I can say, if somebody asks me, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Then I have an opinion. Otherwise, I don't have an opinion because I didn't use it. So I went and bought this cookie cutter. I go, 3 miles down the road, whatever it is. I see the field in my mind, and I get there, go out in the field, and I got this cookie cutter. I got my Freedom brand Thor hammer, put the cookie cutter on the ground. I start beating on the sides of it, right? So it ain't going in, it ain't cutting. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So I start beating on the top. I'm like, I must be doing this wrong, because I never seen anybody use one. So I'm beating on this thing. I cave it, the handle all in. And this was one of the ones that Robbie Gilbert had, and and then, I mean, they were pretty sturdy built, and so I go, and this thing's all beat to hell. I mean, I only been gone, I don't know, half an hour at the most. I go back to F&T and take this in there, and I says, "Is there something wrong with this thing?" I said, "It ain't working." They said, "Yeah, it's not for frozen ground." Oh, I thought, you just beat it in the ground. It wasn't that super frozen, but that's the thing is, if you don't know, you don't know. And the reason why I tell you this is, that if you go out there and make mistakes and stuff, when people make fun of you on like Facebook about the cookie cutter, if you told that story, oh, you're stupid, you're this, you're that. Everybody, I don't give a shit who you are, you make them mistakes, and if you don't, you ain't doing anything. Everybody makes mistakes. So if you're just starting out trapping, or you've been trapping for a long time, and people start saying stuff to you about it, who cares? I mean, I wouldn't let it bother you at all. And that's why I tell this story about the cookie cutter, that I beat it in the ground and didn't know you weren't supposed to use it in the frozen ground. If you don't know, you don't know. And if somebody doesn't tell you, and anybody that says that, that they weren't that way one day is full of shit, because the thing is what do they call a dirt hole? I mean, did they just come up with the name of the dirt hole? I mean, that's been the industry standard for a very long time. But they came up with the exact same phrase on their own, a dirt hole or a double dirt hole or a projection set, just on their own. Come on. You come up with the exact industry standard name on your own. No way. You might have made the set, but you didn't come up with that all by yourself. Not knowing the name and everything else. So if you just starting off trapping, or having trouble bedding your traps and getting them just perfect, if you cut them beds small, they're easier to bed that trap in solidly. They're easier to blend back in, because the more dirt you move out of a hole, when you go to try and blend that trap back in, the more you've taken out of that hole, the harder it's going to be to blend that set back in and get it exactly tight. If you're trapping in sand ground, and it's like a dry sand, yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder, to cut them holes exactly. But I mean, if you're in clay ground, you're going to have to chop. If you're in perfect black soil that's dry and the perfect everything, yeah, it's going to be a little bit easier. But if you keep them holes really tight, you're going to be way better off on your keeping them trapped solid in the bed. And it doesn't matter what type of set you're using, and it's going to be easier to blend in. And especially, I love blind setting. And the thing is you have to keep those traps solid with a small bed so you can blend them back in on the blind sets. Because if you got where it's all tore up, it doesn't look natural, and you're going to have some resistance of them going around. So, you just want to keep them beds as tight as possible. I can't stress that enough, especially with the blind setting, to keep them holes as small as you can to get your trap in them. And and especially like if you're using waxed dirt, you start getting like this time of year and you're using waxed dirt. Well, let me step back on that. I should have been using waxed dirt. I get caught every year. Every single year I get caught, because I don't want to. I'm not cheap, but I'm also not just like, I'm not cheap, but I don't want to use up waxed dirt that I had to sweat on to make, right? So, so the money aspect of it, I didn't really care about. It was the sweat, and so I don't go out there when I should every year and put the wax dirt in. And so what happened again this year is I got caught. I look at the temperatures. Yep, we're good to go. We're good to go. We're good to go. And what happens every year? They change the forecast and it's going to go down to 24 degrees. Well, in the swamp, I'm fine. But you know what? Most of the time, this time of year, I'm not setting in the swamp for coyotes, and they're running the high ground. So in this area, so on the high ground, 24 degrees, that ground is going to freeze enough that they can walk right over my set, and so I get caught every single year. It happens every year, and it'll happen to me next year because I always think that I can win, and I never can, and so. But especially like I say, using that wax dirt, if you what you do is take a little bit of that, you cut your bed out, small, like we're talking about, cut the hole, take your hammer and bang your levers in. Sarah likes to cut them out. I just take the hammering part and hammer it right down in. Either way works perfectly to hold that trap, for the levers. And so you'll do that. You'll take some wax dirt, put it down in the bed, just like in your glove. Sprinkle it down in there just so it won't freeze down in there. Put your trap in, and then you can put that wax dirt right over there, and you don't have to try and bed it in that wax dirt that moves and slides and everything else. Because it's pretty damn tough to bed a trap in wax dirt or wax sand. Nearly impossible if you were just going to do it in a bucket. Say you just had a bucket full of wax dirt and you're going to bed your trap solid in there. Good luck. So that's the thing is you cut that hole too big, you got the same thing, and you're going to be using more wax dirt. Because if you cut that hole big, like say like a KO Extreme, half gallon of dirt, wax dirt. Do the bottom, do the top. If you cut that out all the way around that trap and then set the trap down in there. Half of that or less if you make them tighter and everything like I'm saying. So if you like to make wax dirt, by all means, cut them holes out big. But if you don't like to make wax dirt and you just like to trap like me, cut them tight, and you'll be happy. You're a lot happier, and it's the same way when I trap on the ice. I'll go and cut them beds real tight like that, and it's a little bit more tricky, but and we'll get into that one episode about trapping on the ice and all that, about how I stake them, and some of you already know watching the videos, but we'll get into more intricate details on that. What we're doing right now, kind of to switch gears a little bit, is we've been trapping this one hunting club. I don't know exactly how many acres they got. I know their property is little over 2 miles long and 1 mile deep all the way, so whatever that figures out to be. It's quite a bit of property. And we've been trapping that, and it was a new piece of property this year, and they have 18 members in their club. So basically, on that amount of property, you have 18 landowners you have to deal with, which, the main guy we deal with is really nice, and everybody else has been real nice we talked to, but one guy come up and we pull in there, we go to check the traps, we go past their camp, we pull in, Sarah is, I'm driving, she's riding, we had another guy following us that was with us, and we go past. There's this Can-Am, and there's two old guys in there. One of them, I don't know. They said he's 80, but he looks like 200. Um, he got this 22, and he racks the lever, like he was John Wayne or something, and he gets into the Can-Am. I told Sarah, I said, well, there he is breaking the law, because you can't get into a vehicle in Michigan with with an on-case gun and loaded. So, so here we go. I says, and then they pulled out right behind us. They're following us, and I'm like, oh, they must be going down there to, the range to shoot or whatever. And we go down to the left, come to the Y, go to the left. They're right behind us. Now I start thinking, well, there's some problem. I don't know what the problem is, but there's some damn problem. And then I start thinking, well, maybe I'm paranoid. So we take another Y to the right, and here he pulls up, going behind us, and then I see we got a coon up there in a trap. It was the third one that we caught. Anyways, he pulls up behind us, gets out. He's got his he didn't have the gun with it on him. It was still in there, and he says, I don't agree with you leaving these animals, not checking these traps. And I'm like, I don't know how many times a day I'm supposed to, you think I'm going to check these? I'm checking them once a day. And now that coon's been here for 3 days. I'm like, we've only been trapping here for 3 days, and we've caught 3 coon. This is the 3rd coon we've caught in this set. Now, that coon's been there for 3 days. Sarah tells him, sir, we have took a picture every day of that coon there. So we have pictures. I'll show you right here on my phone with the dates. That it was the last, this is the 3rd coon here. And as soon as we told him we had the pictures, he backed down. Well, my hackles were up. So then, he said, well, I was going to come down here and shoot that coon. I told him, I told you when we come here, if you guys shoot anything in my trap, we're all done. We're pulling the traps. You don't kill the stuff in my traps. I kill the stuff in my traps. Because maybe some of it, it's like we caught a bobcat I had to release. They would have gunned it down. So that's just, when I go into these places, I just tell them, you don't kill anything. You can call me and say you got something if you want or whatever, but you don't kill anything, because that's my trap. I'm responsible for it. I will take care of it. I don't need help. Well, not from them anyways. I always need help, just not from them. If I get stuck, I'll call for help. Then I need your help. But that's the thing is, if you're going out there like in Iowa, you got Next Gen Trapper, he catches 188 coon. Is he going to take a picture of every single coon? No. But the thing is if you're running small lines and there's going to be people around and stuff, it's best to take pictures of them, because the thing is, that could have been a DNR officer, and that's his opinion that was 3 different coons. You haven't checked that trap for 3 days. If you don't have them pictures, you can't prove it. I'm just telling you, worst case scenario, that it would be safe if you're running a small line, just snap a quick picture of a coon. If you're trapping like next gen trapper, or like we do in Iowa, which are lesser scale than him, because I don't want to skin that many coon anymore. So, then it's best to, just take a quick picture of it. It just protects you, and it's always nice to look back on them pictures years later, especially, if you got your kids with you, take a picture of them with the coon. They would love it. And, I take a lot of pictures, and you know, and the thing is I just enjoy, you know, 10 years later looking at them. You know, I got pictures, you know, my dad, I'm glad I took, and videos, and I even got videos where we're arguing about making a video, you know. So he said he didn't shut the camera off, and I was like, I know you shut that camera off, you know, you can, he's arguing he didn't shut the camera off, and the camera, and you go back to the footage before that, and the camera went off. He was full of crap. You know, but I mean, then it was aggravating as hell. But, you know, now with that video and the pictures and stuff, it means everything, because he's not here no more, you know, and one day you won't be here no more, or a loved one won't be here, and you would wish that you took them pictures, because, you know, in the end, all you don't have, no, let's say cooner worth $100 a piece. One day the money's all gone, but all you got is the memories and the stories, and it's nice to have pictures to go along with them. So we got this hunting camp, and we go out there, and we go, you know, I'd never been back in there before. The landowner had showed Harry around and stuff, but you know, it had rained like 3 days, so there was really no sign. So, you know, I mean, we're going in there, there's not any sign. We don't really know where it's at. And so we get on this property, and, you know, I'm looking in this area, what I'm looking for is like any gravel pits. You know, they put in food plots. I'm looking for like you know, some sort of a structure out in this field that's going to, you know, make the coyotes, or, you know, gravitate towards it. So basically, we get to this Y, and we can go left, we can go right, we go right. And the thing is we get up even into the mostly all high ground, and what happens is we set all day. You know, we're setting like crossroads, stuff like that. You know, we're not seeing any coyote sign, but we're not expecting to see any coyote sign. So, you know, we've set the gravel pit. There's some really nice spots there. We go the next day, and we start setting. On the other side, we go to the left instead of the right. We check them, you know, next day here in northern Michigan, you generally don't have any catches. You know, you might clean out some possums, porcupines, stuff like that. But, you know, you're sitting waiting for the coyotes to come through. So we go to the left, the second day setting. We get down in there. It's a little bit lower, and then it drops down into some low spots, and then comes back up, but a lot more sand. Big sand blows, stuff like that, and we start setting that, and then we started seeing, you know, you'd pick up like old coyote turd that was, you know, it was washed out, but you could tell it was a coyote turd, and start setting, and that's where they were, because you know, we started seeing tracks, picking up coyotes, and, you know, and then getting them on game camera, and, you know, that's where they were, all to the left, you know. And the thing is that's what happens on new properties. It takes you sometimes, you know, just time to learn that property. You know, sometimes it happens like that, where, you know, we learned a lot about that property in 4 or 5 days. You know, sometimes it takes longer. It could take you, you know, quite a, you know, no set time, but, you know, let's say a season on a big property, you know, to really learn that property, even into the next year. You know, because like next year, when we go into that area, we're going to be going to the left. That's going to be the first place we set, is we're going to the left, because that's where we had success. So we're going to the left, you know, and chances are, I believe, because of the terrain and everything, them coyotes are pushed down into that area that time of year, and I'm going to be setting in them spots. You know, so could I be wrong? Absolutely. But I could absolutely be wrong. They could all have moved and went over to the right. The food source was better over there or whatever. But 9 out of 10 times to the left is where them coyotes are going to be. That's their travel patterns in this time of year. And hey, I mean, it takes you time to learn the properties. So, if you're out there running on new properties and just starting out, or been trapping for a while, and don't get discouraged. Just pay attention. My thing is when I go into a property, I'm not great at setting up, like going in there and saying, you know what, this is the best spot, and I set the trap, and come back there, and you got your hero picture with your. A lot of times when I go into someplace, I make mistakes and don't always pick the very best spots. But you know what I do? I don't do great at the initial one sometimes. A lot of times. What I do great at is readjusting. And so the thing is you don't want to go in there, set up your traps, and say, I'm going to come back tomorrow and check these, and nope, nothing, nope, nothing, nope, nothing, nope, nothing. And not look for other places to set your traps. Because you could have them set at point A, and 100 yards away, point B, them coyotes are coming out on the field and taking a shit and then running down the other side, and they ain't even coming by your trap. So that's the thing is do not be afraid to readjust and look for spots to readjust them traps out of that spot into someplace better, or leave them there and set more traps. So that's the thing is you have to get better at readjusting. Not just set where you set and hope something happens. If you have to readjust, and always be looking for a better spot than where you got that trap set now. My throat was getting dry. I had to have me a little sip of sugar-free Pepsi. That's what we'll call it. So on this property, we we definitely could have done better, but we were happy for what the first year setting the property. There was a lot of activity, which was another problem out there. Our deer season in Michigan starts November 14th. So we're out there like the first part of November, and these guys are out there getting their blinds ready. There's 18 people plus guests, family, blah, 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 running up and down the roads with side-by-sides and quads and vehicles. And, I mean, I had this perfect spot. I took a jake trap, put it out there, put a trench set. Road is running along the edge of this field. Out of the woods comes another road. There's like 3 roads coming into that intersection right there. The wind is blowing from the field towards all 3 of them roads coming in, plus the one running along. It's going to be a northwest wind. So I make this trench set. Wind is in my favor. I come back, run over. It's not in the road, it's in the field, on the edge of the road. But the wind's on my direction, so I'm not real worried about it. So I reset the trap. Oh, I forgot to tell you. And there's coyote tracks where I would have caught the coyote. So reset the trap, come back, and I was aggravated, so the set wasn't perfect. I come back, and there's coyote tracks on each side standing on the levers. I'm like, oh my God, this is getting worse and worse. So I readjust everything and take my time and get the set in right. Come back the next day, or it was a couple days later. We come back the next day, but this next episode was like a couple days later, and we go and I'm driving down the edge of the field on the road. This vehicle with this old guy comes pulling up to the intersection, and he can go right away from me or turn left towards me. So I, like, if he pulls out and goes around, so I start like pulling over the side of the road just to let him know that, hey, I'm gonna let you go by. So what he does is he pulls like he's gonna let me by and pulls way out into the field and runs over my damn trap again with me watching him do it. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I just watched the guy run over my my J trap. This is what probably happened the last time this got run over. I mean, this isn't like a well-used generally, trail. I mean, you got to set these traps somewheres. So it was like a nightmare. But the other time I watched somebody run over my trap was I had the trap set on the side of the road on the state land, and I'm coming down the road, and I'm like, that looks like the DNR. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm not doing anything wrong, but, it's just you don't want to deal with it, So I go to get over, to let him stay on the road, and he gets way over, and I watch his front tire. I was using a KO Junior, and his front tire snapped the trap, and his back tire rolled right over it. And I was sitting across from my trap and watched it, and I'm like, oh my God, my KO Junior is going to be smashed. What are you going to do? It's the DNR, and he didn't do it on purpose, but. He didn't even check me. He just went right on by, which is surprising. But I get out, walk over there, and that's why I knew them traps were tough. I cracked that. I pulled it out, and it was a little bit. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty damn good looking. And I just set it, and she set, and I hit the pan. It snapped. I reset it again. Put it right back in there, and was good to go. And you can't ask for more in a trap than that to be run over twice by the DNR and still go back in the damn ground. So I mean, that's pretty damn tough trap. So nice job, Kendall. So on the hunting club, we get that all set up, and we put out some water sets, and did a lot of cool stuff back in there. There was some muskrat crap on the log, and that's one of my favorite things to do is trap muskrats. And didn't catch one. I know you're expecting me to say, yeah, I caught him. No, I didn't. He's still swimming. I'll have to get him in December after deer season. But he'll look a lot nicer then. I was doing him a favor letting him go, swim on. So, but then we had, like I said, the one cat we let go, caught a bunch of coon. And they wanted all that stuff out of there. Sarah caught, I don't know, besides everything else she caught, there was 2 porcupines in one set, and if we're out somewhere, a lot of times I'll cut them loose, but like on private property like that, they don't want them chewing up their pine trees, and they're nice enough to let us trap, so I kind of obey what they want. They want the bobcats killed probably too, but I ain't obeying them that much, so what they do is not my problem. Only what I do. I only can control myself, and sometimes I have problems with that. So, but we did all that. But we just got those traps pulled, and I pulled some off some farms. So we're going to be heading down to Iowa. Sarah is down there right now, getting stuff around, and I'm finishing up some stuff. I'm going to be heading down to our house down there, and Jeff Haggerty and Nick Ernie are coming down again, and we're going to all be trapping together, and we've been running a bunch of lives, hopefully, and stuff, and looking forward to that. I love trapping Iowa. It's one of my favorite places to trap. It's really, really nice down there. And Louisiana and Iowa are probably two of my favorite. And but Iowa's got some muskrat, so what can I say? I know Louisiana does too, but not where I trap. I've never seen one where I trap. Never even seen a cutting where I trap. So I'm looking forward to getting down there, piling up some coon. We've got, I don't know, we probably got 400 or 500 coon sold, and they want some Michigan ones, but mostly Iowa ones for hats. So hopefully we'll catch some. We'll be setting few coyote sets and stuff like that too, and trying to catch a few bobcats, some beaver we got to trap on, some complaint places. But I'm really looking forward to getting down there and getting after them. But if I go and put up pictures of like raccoons and stuff, and it'll continue on, but people say, why are you killing them? They're not worth anything. Number one, I got them sold. Number two, what do you care? Do I go out there and tell every person that? No. But I'd like to, and another thing is why are you, because you choose not to trap, and I can certainly understand if you don't want to trap and stuff is not up to the value that you think that it should be, and probably should, but if you don't want to trap, I'm not disparaging to you. So if I choose to trap with my money, which I love to do, I don't care about deer hunting, I don't care about turkey hunting, I don't do anything else, which I buy like a Nintendo or whatever they got out now, and sit in the house and play fighting games, or that's what I do. I'm a trapper. I trap, and but it's like I feel like saying, why are you on a trapping forum of any type and disparaging somebody for going trapping? That makes zero sense to me. What do you care? You should be in support of them going out trapping and doing that type of stuff. So, it makes no sense to me why somebody would be disparaging about somebody going trapping, regardless of what the price is, on a trapping forum. So if you're one of them people, maybe that's something you should think about. Why are you disparaging to somebody else about going trapping? Maybe you should get out there and go trapping. You can do catch and release trapping, like DPs. If you just enjoy, I just enjoy setting traps. My fantasy trap line would be where I go out and I set the traps, and somebody else comes back and they check them. I don't even ever have to go back. I just like setting them. So a lot of people are out there right now saying, hey, that sounds like a great deal because I only like checking them. But that's what makes it great about trapping is every bit of it fun? Is it fun every second? No, it's a lot more intensive. You wake up, you got traps out tomorrow and it's raining, you gotta go check your traps. You wake up tomorrow and the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour and it's 30 below zero, you've got to go check your traps. You wake up tomorrow and gonna go deer hunting and it's raining, piss on that. I'm gonna stay home and stay in bed. So it's a lot more hands-on with the trapping, and I fully realize that. But the thing is it's way more personal too. I feel, You know, I mean, I'm sure deer hunters would disagree, but to me, it's more personal, especially with taking kids and or adults that getting them involved in trapping. You know, you can talk and laugh and joke and bust each other's balls, and it's like when I go with me and Sarah and Haggerty and Nick, and we have Mike, and Travis went with us. It's fun because you can bust people's balls. You don't have to be quiet. Um, you know, um, there's, it's just more personal to me than if we went and sat out in the woods and had to be quiet the whole damn time. And being truthful, am I biased about it? Absolutely. Absolutely am I biased. Yep. I think that trapping is the greatest thing ever. Um, it's better than the NFL, better than the NBA. The people are better. They're involved in it. Um, you know. So yeah, I am biased. But the other thing we've been going through, I didn't, know if we're going to mention this or not, but I figure might as well, is we, online, we get bashed by the antis a lot and stuff, but the new thing is being hacked. And I'm not going to go too deep into what has happened. I will at some point, but it's still going on right now. But we got hacked. It was pretty severe. We're going to probably, we're still working on it, talking with cybersecurity people. And so the thing is, it's all done now, but, getting everything straightened back out. But just dealing with the antis and, and then dealing with, these people overseas that are trying to get in to steal your money or your information and sell your information. Um, as a trapper, not just me, you guys also, it's stressful being on social media. And the thing is are we all going to always get along? No, because I'm not going to I'm just being honest. I'm not going to like some of you, and some of you are not going to like me. Everybody does not like everybody. But I do know that tearing each other apart when every damn person out there hates us is not the best. So, I would say that everything doesn't have to be a damn fight between the trappers on stuff. And am I ever guilty of doing that stuff? Absolutely, I am. But I definitely try, and I'm gonna make a real effort to not do that, and support trappers even more than what I have been. Not financially. I know some of you were getting ready to start dialing my number. I meant emotionally, I'm going to support you. But all kidding aside, this isn't a kumbaya moment, but I wish I could go more into what everything that's went on with this hacking and all this, and it's like last night. It was such a brutal attack from them antis. I had just had enough. We got hacked, which I can't go into all that at this point, but I will at some point, because you won't believe. And the reason I'm going to go into it at some point is so that you can protect yourself on the social media. And I'm no cyber expert. All I know is what happened to me. And when I tell you what happened to me, it can help you not get stuck in the same situation that I got stuck in. So I, at some point, real soon, I will be telling you, so that, because I don't want this to happen to somebody, but I just can't go into it right now. So the thing is everybody out there is against us, and that's is not an understatement. Last night I had a video I put up. There was 1.2 million the last I saw it, and views, and it was the antis from overseas and some of the wackos from here. It's just, I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. You know, people say, well, you know, you put, you know, releasing a bobcat, you show this. It doesn't matter. They don't want you out there. But it was 1.2 million views, and it was just like a rollover of these antis. You know, I hate lake hole traps. I hate this. It had nothing to do with what they had an opinion before they ever saw the video. All that did was spark their emotion. But you know what? There was a lot of people that saw that video that might put a seed in them that you know what? I would like to go do that. I'm having problems on my coyote line, you know? So that's the thing is if you get attacked, just know that if you need my support, I'll be there for you. It sucks to get attacked and nobody's there. And that wasn't the case with me. I had a lot of trappers on there defending me, you know, saying that, you know, this and this and this. So, but, you know, everybody's not as lucky as I am to have the support. So if you need the support and you let me know, you know, and it isn't some weirdo deal where, you know, you got some really bad video, you know, that you want me to support. But on a legitimate deal, I'm there for you, you know, and I'll, you know, put it out there that you need support and stuff. Because I think that we need to not back away from, you know, putting out videos, and you know, that's how people get involved. It's like metal detecting. I watched YouTube videos. I'm scrolling through YouTube, you know, just looking. I mean, it could be on anything, you know. And I see a metal detecting thing, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And I'm watching it, and I had, you know, metal detected one time down in Louisiana, and I don't know, maybe some other time too, but you know, I come across a metal detecting thing. You know what? I thought that looks pretty cool. I want to try that. And I didn't buy one right away, but I started watching a few more videos, and it'd pop up, and because I had watched it on YouTube. So, you know what? I went and bought a metal detector. I bought another metal detector, a better one, and you know, the pinpointers and the head things, and you know, I'm looking at the maps and you know, getting into all this. That didn't happen without me watching the YouTube video. And that's what I'm telling you is on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok's a son of a bitch as far as trying to put up anything trapping. You can do it, but you got to be really careful or you'll just get your whole account took down. So, but that's what I'm saying. If you put that out there, it can spark somebody in people that they see it. And number one, lets people know they're not alone. And number two, somebody that's out there has a deer camp, has some kids, or you know, miscellaneous things. It'll put a spark in them that they want to get into, try something like that. Just like it did with me with the metal detecting on YouTube. That's exactly how it happened. So, I guess what I'm saying is, you know, get out there and promote trapping, and you know, it's what we want to do. The other thing that I'm gonna cover real quick is with the NTA. There is a thing, if you're an NTA member, there's a thing to vote on a proposal that they have up, and the proposal is that you have to be on, I'm just telling it like I understand it. So if I'm not 100%, I'm pretty damn close. You have to be on the executive board to run for president of the NTA. Like, let's say that I had a gut full of the NTA and I thought it was going the wrong way. I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm just saying, let's say let's say I had a gut full of NTA. I said, you know what? I think I can do better at running this and get it, and I think you're going the wrong direction. And I wanted to run for the NTA president. With this new thing that they're wanting to put forward, if you don't vote no on it, and you got to tear it out of the magazine and send it in and all this, I couldn't run for president. Only the people on the executive board. So it would be like their own little club could run for the president. Sometimes, as we all have seen, sometimes stuff needs to be shooken up. And I think anybody that is, I think anybody that is an NTA member should be able to run for the president or any other position in the NTA. I mean, basically, why not? If a person loves trapping and, the people support them, more power to them. It doesn't, I don't think it should be just the executive board or whatever. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. There's a lot of people out. I was almost said one person's name, but I don't want to say it because I know that they support it by what I've seen, but, I don't want to throw their name out there. Okay, John Daniels was posting that, about it, that, you should vote no for it. So, sorry, John, he's the president. But, and the thing is, I ask, who put this forward? I couldn't get a name. Maybe somebody can give me the name and, who thought this was a great idea to make it where only the board members could be the president. Does it extend to the vice president and all that? I don't know that at all. I only know that you couldn't run for president. So if you're an NTA member and you think anybody out there could do a good job, running it, then, vote no. If you think that they should have it where it's just, like a click, by all means, vote no. I definitely wouldn't want to run for it because I would be like Trump on steroids in there. Yep. But we won't go down that road at this point. Maybe someday down the road we'll go down that road. But I got too much stuff I want to do before that happens. So, anyways, I appreciate everybody sticking with me. Trapper's been great to me my whole life. They're my people, and I appreciate everything you guys have done for me through the years. And I really hope that I can do that for you someday. Have a good night. By the time you're listening to this, I'll be in Iowa killing coons. So, bye-bye.